Hey guys, it's Model Making Time, and today we're in Thornbury for the IPMS Avon Model Show. This show is one I've been to many years ago, but I haven't been to for quite some time, so I'm as excited as you are to go around it. It's a different type of show, because not only does it have the normal model stands, it also has wargaming, so it will have different tables around, both showing off and also allowing you to try out different war games too. So let's go and have a look inside.
So we start our tour with the hosts, Avon. There's actually two Avon clubs here. This one was in Hall 3. So you enter in Hall 1, go to the right, and then you're into the second big hall, which is Hall 3. This was a really lovely display. I particularly did enjoy seeing multiple red arrows with a Nat, the anniversary scheme, and the current scheme, particularly as we may not see the red arrows for too long. Having an airliner contingent is always welcome, as they are often overlooked in scale modelling and they have so much variety and colour. And perhaps one of the most impressive things was this diorama at the front, which the amount of time it must have taken to get all those poses and everything just perfect is phenomenal. This is one of the standout pieces of the entire show, in my opinion. Overall, I really enjoyed that display. It was very large and unusual that it wasn't in the entranceway or at the first point of entry for the Hall 1, because normally the hosts are front and centre of the show. So this was a little unusual, though it was still nice to see. I have seen some of these things before, particularly at Bovington Model Show, so if you haven't seen that video already, go and check out the Bovington video I did this year, where you will see some of these in a bit more detail. As with every show, I always try and highlight different things from a club each time that I see them. I did love the ornithopters right at the front in the large scale. Often you only really see the smaller scale, so seeing them at this large, beautiful scale is incredible, because it really helps you see the differences between the different ornithopters in the Junior universe. Sandwiched between that were obviously a lot of aircraft, tanks and everything, and then flanking that was the rest of the aircraft and a couple of lovely dioramas. Overall, a fantastic opening for this show. Oh, and the BA Hawk with the flag tearing through, that is now on my list to make for XX307. It's an absolutely beautiful scheme, and yeah, I need to do it. As usual, my videos with each of the clubs, I will talk through what there is, and then I will just let you enjoy the photos. So, time to enjoy. Right, so this is the first club you saw when you walked into the venue in Hall 1. You can see the lighting is very different between the halls, but I did turn Evans to be slightly different. And yeah, this was Southampton. A lot of vehicles here, including the wild F1 car with 6 wheels, which I only learned about recently and I think is really interesting. And I love this transport, the Turkish Hawker Hurricane. The Airfix Modelling SIG is up next with a fantastic array of biplanes and float planes on offer, which is not something you see every day, except on, I guess, is it Splash, which does sort of exclusively float planes and flying boats. This was really cool seeing that, and then World War I aircraft. It was a really different layout to their usual table, and I really enjoyed it. It was fantastic. Heading over to Romsey, and we have Thunderbird, Star Wars, and Nautilus. We have a fantastic array and a couple of submarines to boot. This was a really varied display and mainly focused on larger scale aircraft alongside vehicles and the aforementioned sci-fi and fantasy. This is amazing, and I think the lightning was probably my favourite thing. Well, partly because I am biased towards aircraft, but also I just love the posing of the figures just walking away. Heading over to Eagles, we clearly have a Red Alert 2 fanatic, because that one at the back, the grey big tank, is the Grizzly battle tank from Red Alert 2, which I used so much because I always placed as Korea so I could have the Black Eagle aircraft, and the Grizzly tank was the main tank of the Allied forces. I love this. I love that there's so much more RTS stuff coming in, because we've seen a lot of the Apocalypse tanks and Mammoth tanks. It's cool to see something from the Allied side, the Grizzly tank. Amazing display. I love seeing things that are outside of the norm, especially sci-fi and fantasy. It's just always welcome. So yeah, incredible display. I'm really biased towards the Grizzly tank. Birmingham has some classy displays on here, whether it's the glider set out so perfectly or some of the models that are in front of the box arts. This was something I expected to be more of a trend this year, and it hasn't taken off as much as I anticipated, so that's a bit of a shame because I really enjoy seeing it. But there were a couple throughout the show that showed this. This is a stand we've seen a few times, so I do always try and show something different. They have an immaculate display with such high quality models from all different areas. It was really a joy to see, especially the Spitfire 109 standoff with the box arts behind them. Iska had a really interesting display with a few different sort of areas and themes. I really liked the farm in the corner because it just was something very different but was really cute. We then had this Italian section in the middle, and then following on from that we had a lot of military, including some really interesting and unique projects, one of which I was considering doing, and having seen it I think I might have to do it in 22nd scale. Obviously, as someone who loves Italian aviation and sort of interwar Italy in general, I really like seeing that display, but also seeing things like the birds and lunch on the sort of building site in New York, it's just so lovely. Now, the thing I was mentioning earlier was this Yak 130 in the Red Arrow scheme. The Yak 130 is a companion project of the Alenia Aeromacchi M346, now Leonardo M346. Originally they were doing the project together before going their separate ways, and now we have the Yak 130 and M346. The Red Arrows have just dropped down to 7 aircraft rather than their usual 9 in order to preserve flying hours and to make sure they have spare parts essentially to cannibalise from. However, they are talking of replacing it with another jet trainer, and the Leonardo M346 is one of the contenders, I suppose, after the UK, well, kind of idea for a jet has kind of fallen through. But we may see an entirely own project or something like the T7. But yeah, and a bit of a rant about that, but I really love this display. you'll see an aircraft we'll see quite a few times during this show today, which is the Tucano, but alongside that are some fantastic vintage cars. I don't really know a lot about them, but I did really enjoy seeing them, and the Tucano was done in a flying stand with the Lest We Forget scheme, a really fantastic example. Perhaps my favourite, I don't even know if you'd call it a diorama, but my favourite assembly of models together is this Red Arrows beautiful formation, and it just looks fantastic, and you can see it from the top and from the bottom, and it's just a really wonderful, vibrant display. I wanted to do a Red Arrows thing like this for ages, and I've never known if I would be able to do it, and this is really encouraging me to go, yeah, I should just make one, because look how amazing it looks. And I can definitely see me having one of these and hanging it from the ceiling. But yeah, anyway, they do have a lot more on display on the table, of course, including a lot of these sort of mini dioramas or based models, including sort of aircraft being serviced or tanks going past the building. It was a really cool display, and I enjoyed seeing it. West Somerset have some of the largest models, or at least the largest vehicles at the show, with these large, I don't know if they are Scud launchers, but similar vehicles. I only really know them from Command & Conquer Generals when you play as a GLA and you get Scud launchers. They also have this amazing selection of sort of prototype aircraft, particularly sort of German, and I guess you call them sort of 1946 projects essentially. They're always really cool and fun to see in a world that could have been if the war had unfortunately carried on even longer. And yeah, you can see the giant scale of these models, and I cannot imagine the work hours that went into these fantastic models. And that's contrasted by the bright and colourful cars that sit directly next to it, and then topped off with an, I guess, SU-25, potentially a 39. I didn't take any photos of this because I think everything was kind of diorama, so I'm going to show you everything up close. This is a really cool display. The B36, of course, is something I'm building currently, and it's been sat on my shelf for a long time because we're just going to pretend that I'm going to finish it at some point. But I really enjoyed just seeing dioramas from all different perspectives. This carrier diorama is just incredible, the amount of detail there and work that goes into it. I don't even know how you would manage to do this. And again, contrasted with the B36 and then sort of experimental aircraft, is just a fantastic display of what you can do with modelling. Well, the previous stand is quite well laid out next to the British Experimental Aircraft SIG. This is so cool. I love like the What If SIG and Project Cancelled, and then next to British Experimental Aircraft SIG. It's just so cool. I love seeing these experimental aircraft. Some of these did come to fruition. Some of them will have been just sort of on the drawing board and never actually flew, but being able to see them in scale form next to what did actually fly, what didn't fly, is just so cool. So many unusual projects here. Absolutely love this, and there's a lot of conversion and scratch building that will have gone on with these kits, and I massively respect that because I'm awful at it. If you've seen one of my show reviews before, you'll know that I know almost nothing about sort of armour in general, so I'll just let you enjoy the British armour sig. I got Mr. Modeler to choose what we should photograph here because, again, I just don't really have any idea. But I appreciate the amount of work and skill and craftsmanship that goes into each and every one of these, especially the little addition of the Volvic water on this one. A relatively new SIG, I think, is the Dissimilar Air Combat SIG, and we saw these at Bolton. I did try and take pictures of things that I didn't take pictures of at Bolton, but I'm not really too sure because I can never remember what I did or didn't take pictures of. So hopefully you get some up-close photos of something different. .580 modelers are a club that I see at most shows I go to. I don't know if there's any that I have been to where they haven't been there actually. And they always deliver absolutely exceptional models. The things I really enjoyed from this one, which I hope I haven't done photos of before, are the Vickers Wellington and also the Bristol Blenheim that was off right at the start. The Wellington is obviously much larger in scale and the Blenheim was, I think, in 72nd. I really enjoy the amount of variety on display here, including Lilo and Stitch right at the front, from the animated series, not from the awful live action. West Midlands Police have an amazing display, and we did see these at Scale Model World Live as well, and one of my friends actually normally plays them as well, which is silly that they weren't there unfortunately on this day. An amazing display, and I love the lights and colours of the Gundam off to the side, and the C-130s with the two different vibrant beautiful tails just look spectacular, and of course the giant FW189 in the middle. This was an amazing display and a lot of eye-catching things, and I'm glad these were relatively close to the entrance because you wouldn't want to miss this display. Four Corners are a club that have cemented themselves as kind of top tier diorama makers, at least in my own opinion, doing really unusual or different dioramas. So you can see sort of the crashed aircraft at the back there. They've got one where there's a kid throwing at a V1. It's just an amazing array of different dioramas, all on these really small bases that just make them really feel alive. Another SIG that I know almost nothing about the actual real life counterpart is the NASA SIG. Of course I know what NASA is, but I don't really know enough about rockets or space vehicles, but I always enjoy seeing the SIG because it's something so different, particularly with the launch of Airfix's Space Range in the last year's launch, which hopefully we'll get more of it because it's greatly needed. It's so nice to see these and inspire other people that, yeah, actually, you don't have to do military. You can just do space, and it's so cool. The Gulf War SIG cover all sides of the war, as you can see from the MiG-29 right at the start there, and I think that's one of the best things about a SIG, is being able to explore all aspects of a special interest rather than just doing one side. Although I guess because it is a SIG, you could just do, I don't know, the Allied side of World War II, or you could just do the British involvement in Gulf War if you wanted to, but it's nice that you get to see all the different aspects of the Gulf War SIG. Much like the British Armour SIG, I'm not going to say too much here because I know nothing about cars other than, wow, that one's pretty or not. So again, I got Mr. Modeler to choose a couple that we don't think we took photos of before, and I hope you enjoyed because there's amazing work here. It's just not an area that I love, but I know many of you will. Coventry were one of the first clubs, at least in the model show circuit that I, visited in the UK, that I remember putting Gundam on their table. And now Gundam is so commonplace in a good way, because, the more diversity we have in the hobby, the more people who get into it, and we, can steal techniques from each other. And they've continued to evolve their display to be ever more different and varied. So you can see sort of a Greek fighting scene, there's the Gundam over onto the side, there was some Warhammer and a lot of military and also civilian vehicles. And then of course you have things like this Rhino and a Mammoth. It's just a fantastic variety on offer on this display, and I hope they continue to develop this because it's just fantastic. I love it. The more variety we have, the better. East Midlands are a club we've seen before, and I think previously I may have taken pictures of the Vigilante that's in the middle. This time I tried to do different things, including the mobile ATC cabin that you can see directly behind it. There's also this Battle of the Bulge uphill slope that you can see behind it, which also looks fantastic and is of really high standard. There's a couple of little dioramas there too from an airfield and the vehicles in the middle too. This is a really well thought out display and it looks fantastic. I apologise for the lighting in advance to Francois Military Miniatures because these are absolutely stunning dioramas, but unfortunately the lighting wasn't as good as I was hoping. I did get my phone out to light a light, I lighted some of the pictures, but these are simply some of the most unique, varied and well presented mini dioramas that I think I have ever seen. This is simply outstanding work, and these literally look like art pieces for someone to collect rather than, well, scale models. They look amazing and I really hope you enjoy them. Even though the lighting isn't super great, wait till the photos, hopefully some of them look a little better. I guess I should probably start bringing a light to these shows, shouldn't I? Let me know in the comments if you think I should. The North Devon Model Society is up next, and they had a really cool selection of sort of, I guess, what if aircraft. So like things like the TSR-2 on the bottom here in different schemes, so Raspberry Ripple, sort of Arctic camouflage, and then the, I guess, more real actual white scheme as well. I really love seeing these. Again, I mentioned earlier, I love What If and Project Cancelled, and it's just really cool to see them regardless of the scale. In complete contrast to this though was this giant diorama in the middle as well. It just really goes to show the breadth and width of the variety on offer in scale modelling, and I've said that quite a few times, but it just always remains true, and I'm so envious of people's ability to make these things, because anyone who can do figures and make them look real is a godsend, because anytime I do them, they look awful. They did have these sort of modern armies for tabletop on display as well. These look amazing. I really need to get into tabletop. I've got some Warhammer to do. I've really wanted to get into bolt action as well, and visiting the show just makes me want to do it even more, even though most of the games aren't those anyway. As if I need to say anything other than I absolutely love the Mirage SIG and the stand that's next to it, which is the French Air Force SIG. The Mirage, including, I guess, the Dassault Revell, which kind of came from that lineage, dates back all the way to World War II aircraft, and before that from Dassault, who sort of just started developing aircraft back under the block name, and now has achieved absolute worldwide success. I love seeing these two stands next to each other because it really just shows the contribution to global aviation that France has played, and a lot of these aircraft have been in service either still or up until very recently, and there are some beautiful examples such as the Belgian and French ones there in unique liveries too, adding some colour to the military that is on offer. It's so lovely to see. And then of course we head over to the French Air Force SIG, which I mentioned a moment ago, and there's a couple of things here that I've either built before, or I've built in different schemes, or I'm looking to build, and of course you all know that I just absolutely love French aviation. They had the Amour there, which I'm currently building for a special video, and they had the Alpha Jet, which is one of my all-time favourite aircraft. There's just so much on offer here. I love this display. It's always different every time, and it always just makes me smile. There's another one that does a lot of subjects I don't know too much about, but they had this tram diorama at the back that they were about to take to the competition, but kindly let me take a photo of before they took it off. So I've got some close-up pictures of that. This was just a really lovely set of unique and interesting dioramas, even though I don't know too much about the subjects, but enjoy, they look incredible. this club's name didn't ring a bell to me initially, and then I looked them up whilst I was doing this video and I was like, yeah, actually I've seen these a lot. So this is Valiant Wings Publishing and their own stand. I don't know if I should be classed as like a trader stand or not, but I guess it's their models that they do as part of their work, but either way they look amazing. Heading over to West Middlesex Scale Model Club. Gosh, I cannot say that. Love the Yas 39 Griffin artwork there. That is the one I remember building as a kid, even though I did an awful job at it as a child as well. And probably the standout is the SU-24 there, and the back in that beautiful blue colour. It just looks fantastic. I have a habit of taking far too many photos of just fun modelers, so you've probably seen most of the things on this table. So I did try and get some of their more, I guess, normal subjects like that Griffin there and some of the Matchbox ones. I really love that Matchbox display, by the way. It's sort of the current sets that I think Revell released as like mini dioramas, and back in the day these were fairly cheap dioramas that come with plastic bases. They are now not as cheap, but they are still sold from Revell. And then alongside that, of course, just for fun, have a lot of really silly and fun dioramas or displays that are just either taking idioms and turning them into real life or just having fun little plays on word. Really love this display. Again, it shows what modelling should be all about, which is fun. And well, we get to our first set of wargaming. Now, I'm not going to go into massive detail about the wargames here because I don't know most of them and I definitely don't play most of them. And things like this, Warhammer, I haven't played since my Metal Sisters of Battle Army started being phased out. And when I say phased out, I mean when they got a digital-only codex that didn't even have aircraft when aircraft were kind of the meta. So I haven't played for a very long time. I really want to get back into it, and seeing all these wargame clubs really excites me. I should get into one locally because they look amazing. And this was one that I'd heard of, never seen played. This was Flames of War. I have seen these models around fairly regularly, fairly frequently, and I've heard it's a fairly good game. And they seem to be getting to grips with it. They said they were, learning to play it, and it looked fairly simple, fairly straightforward. And the fact that people were playing it but never really doing it before, I think says a lot about how easy it is to get into a game that you've never touched. I think this looked great, it looks really fun, and the kits are relatively inexpensive, which is a godsend when you're comparing things to like Warhammer, which is not a cheap hobby to get into. And even compared to things like Bolt Action, this is much, much cheaper. And hey, if you've built some models, you might even be able to just use them or proxy them into this game. Now, this is, of course, a World War II based game, and prior to that we had, something set in the year 40,000, which was Warhammer. But that isn't to say that is all there is on offer here. There's a lot of different war games here, and there are a couple of halls. So there are 3 halls in total. This is hall 1, and there is hall 2 and 3. They all have different games in them. So we're going to see a lot of different games from the different halls as we go through them. I'll put them at the end of each of the model stands sections so that there's a little bit of a break in between each of them. But you can already see there's a lot of variety here and very different mechanics. Like this one had a card mechanic in it. I didn't know what was going on, but it really piqued my interest, and it's definitely a system I want to learn more about because this looked really different and unique compared to what I was used to, which is normally rulers and dice more so. This did have dice, I think, as well, and counters, but yeah, cards. Who would have thought that would be involved? And then we got pre-World War I with the Anglo-French War of 1900. This one wasn't in progress as we were there, but I saw various people playing it on and off throughout the day. But, you know, I'd had to finish filming at some point and unfortunately didn't get to film any footage of it being played. But the figures look amazing. It just looks so fun. I love wargaming. But I say that I haven't played it for ages, but I definitely want to get back into it. Saying that though, the most popular wargame here was of course 40k, which I guess is the gold standard for wargaming these days, even though the company has changed a lot and the game has also changed a lot. But hey, it is still the wargame that everyone plays, and it has such a deep lore and so many unique factions. There's something for everyone really, 40k, and a lot of the community is really, really friendly. And you can see that they have their rules on the phones as well. It has really adapted to sort of the modern era, though I understand there's subscriptions involved, I think, with the online rules. I'm not sure. I remember reading something about it. But again, it's not something I've played for quite some time, but I definitely want to get back into. This one was really different. This had like rioters versus police. It was a very interesting concept and game. Not really sure how I feel about this, if I'm really honest. It's very, very different. I guess it just goes to show you there really is something for everyone. And this is a war game I actually remember seeing something about online, and they had a sort of setup here, and I think you could play it and they'd sort of help you learn how to play it or understand it. I didn't. Again, I just don't have time, but it was really cool to see. And then with that, we are already off to our next haul, and this is Plymouth Scale Model Association. They have this large maritime section in the middle, and of course my favourite on this is the Nimrod. I will forever adore and love the Nimrod. It is one of my all-time favourite aircraft, and the Comet before that, it just looks spectacular, and I am now one of those people who complains about the government cancelling it, along, like, I guess like the people who always talk about TSR2. I now talk about the Nimrod being cancelled and it shouldn't have been. But yeah, and then they have the Sunderland right at the end there as well, or I say in the end, in the middle, at the end of that section, which looks absolutely fantastic. It's sort of on the slope going into the water with the gear down. It just looks phenomenal. And then a couple of really unusual aircraft here, including a really large scale F-105, I want to say it is. What an amazing display, and a great start to the next haul. Wallingford has an incredible diorama of a hangar with an A400 in it, and this is one of the best displays of an A400 I've ever seen. I love it. I actually bought an A400 many years ago and I've never built it, and I've always wanted to. I really want to do one with spinning props and lights and everything. It's such an amazing, incredible aircraft, and it was so cool to see such a fantastic diorama here. Just honestly, this like absolutely spectacular, and it just dwarfs everything that's around it, even though the rest of their display is still phenomenal. It just the A400 just looks amazing. Although the sort of giant mortar at the back, the effects on the ground where the tank tracks have sort of pulled through and pulled at the ground, they do look amazing. It just looks so natural and real. Plymouth Pilgrims have a giant B-24 in the sort of checkered yellow scheme right in the centre of their table, but perhaps the thing I like most on their table is a Sea King, which is inside a glass cabinet at the top, and we'll get a couple of pictures of that showing both the aircraft itself and also the figure standing next to it loading the helicopter. I really liked their display. Again, the variety here, I love the sort of vignettes or figures in the middle, and then surrounded by that a large variety of different military and all-purpose vehicles. It looked really cool, but I love the Sea King one. It was a really unique way to lay out the aircraft, particularly at a smaller scale. You do see different sort of layouts at larger scales, but not usually on the smaller ones, and I thought that was just worth mentioning. And then also the Finnish G50 here in the sort of half and half livery, half with the Italian on and then half with the new Finnish sort of blacky greeny colours as well. And then we also have some sci-fi here with Battlestar Galactica and Star Wars 2. South Wales have a lot of really interesting tanks, and it's not the area I know the most about, but I can appreciate them. But that one on the left with the snow effects, I particularly like. The snow looks so realistic and lovely, and snow is one I think is really hard to get right. But we have some unique sort of Japanese tanks on here as well, which is again a nation you don't often see a lot from, and then some modern military too, along with some really interesting dioramas, such as this one at the back here, which I just thought looked really good. I like the unusual shape of it as well. It just looks fantastic. Always love dioramas. I really think they help sell models and bring them to life. And yeah, this was a really cool table. Even though I don't know too much about tanks, I can really appreciate it. Apologies to us, Cornwall, because apparently I went through your stand so quickly and I don't know why, because in my head I was doing all of them at a similar speed, but I apparently just sort of speed around your table, so sorry about that. But you do have a really cool table, and I love the aircraft carrier in particular. I think that looked phenomenal. So I did try and get a picture just showing the scale of it by going down there. I think it looks really good. And another little break. This time we have Revell. Revell were the only manufacturer who was at this show. I don't know about previous years. Again, I haven't been to the show for a long time, but they had so much on offer. Of course, they've recently released their World of Warcraft range, featuring here the Thrall and Lich King. These are particularly poignant given World of Warcraft Classic has become such a massive success. And then we have their Star Wars range, heavily leaning on the Mandalorian at the moment. They do, of course, have their current product range, and the product range for Revell is really varied. They have sort of click systems and build systems, and then their build and paint. So they have one which is sort of, I guess, more similar to sort of Gundam, and essentially just sort of clip it all together. They have one that is more Lego adjacent, and then they have their traditional model making. It is so cool to see their new products here, such as with this McLaren 750S. And I said to Ms. Model, I was like, if I had to make a car, something like this would be so easy and nice to make. That's not me saying I'm going to build one anytime soon, but me appreciating the craftsmanship that's gone into that kit. It just looks phenomenal. Of course, the Gloster Meteor F8 has recently come out. It's been something that you've seen probably a lot of videos on YouTube for, and it just looks phenomenal. The people I know who've built them have said it's been an absolute work of art to build, and well, we hopefully will see something similar with the new large-scale Hawker Siddeley Harrier, or the Harrier project that you may have also seen floating around. They had development models here, and I'm using my phone light to try and light it up a little bit so you can see things a little bit better. But this is perhaps again another reminder that I should probably start taking a light or flash with me to make sure I can get proper photos, because lighting in these venues is not always the best. But again, full respect to Revell for not only involving the community throughout their design process, but also just being really open to showing their current work, because it really does open you up to scrutiny and also feedback, whether you want it or not. And there is an overall mock-up. It just looks amazing. I'm excited to see this. Again, it's not a scale I will ever touch really, but I do love seeing it. The Lufthansa 100 at the back there, I think looks phenomenal. I absolutely love that livery, and the large scale Hawk there in 30-second scale is one I'm actually really tempted to do as my first ever 30-second scale. I don't know, guys, let me know in the comments if you would like to see that. And this is the second outing for the Messerschmitt Bf109E new tool 172nd scale aircraft. So that is one that will be coming out very soon. And then next to that you have the Revell Classics Puma. This looks gorgeous. Oh, I love the Puma. I have actually got a Hella one to build that I bought in Bovington, I think, the first time I ever went, so maybe I'll have to build that at some point. And the Lynx. Yes, I'm so glad to see the Lynx. Please, Revell, release not a new tooling, but an adapted tooling to do the British version with the skids, because that would look so nice. And this Tornado, which I'm really annoyed it isn't in 72nd, because I love this scheme. I saw it at RIA and it just looks absolutely phenomenal. And here is the new, not entirely new, but the new Hawk Hunter. We have a Blue Diamond scheme here, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. To the modelists who made these, they look phenomenal. Like, they look absolutely amazing. They were actually, a lot of them were stood there just talking about the work they did, and yeah. And then the new box art. This box art is fantastic. It looks so gorgeous. So gorgeous. And then we have a Dutch example here, and the luminous orange on that is amazing. It looks so bright. And then, well, a standard camouflage version. Honestly, all of these look absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to see this release. It's going to stand out on like store shelves. The box art is so different. Because it's not like using any unique backgrounds like we've seen them on with like London in the background. This is just their aircraft in the schemes. It does remind me of the Hella Fuga Magister release they did. Lush. I'm so excited. And then we're back to the Cold War SIG back to our scheduled programming. So the Cold War SIG obviously is anything and everything from the Cold War, and they do tend to split it between NATO and non-NATO nations. The other side obviously is mainly USSR Eastern Bloc adjacent, but they do include sort of non-aligned pack stuff there as well. So there's like a Yugoslavian G4 Super Club there, which obviously I took a picture of because I absolutely adore that aircraft. They do also have missiles and spacecraft here as well, and it varies depending on the display they have out, but this is a really, really cool SIG. Again, all different facets from around the world during the course of this era, and it's some of the most interesting and unique eras because everything was evolving so quickly. Everyone was experimenting with different things to get the edge, and yeah, it's just really cool to see. So this is Norks, No Old Rivet Counters Society. Rivet Counters has become such a controversial term. Some people view it positively, some view it negatively, but I'm viewing this as taking it in jest. The models on here look amazing and are mostly of the larger scale. I really like the little dioramas there as well, and the JU-88 here looks phenomenal, especially with how vibrant the yellow looks, even with the weathering in place. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Really, really well thought out display, and the movement of like the figures getting into Spitfires here just looks so good. There were quite a lot of people over at Portsmouth when I was filming, so it's perhaps not the best footage, but I tried to go fairly slowly and pan around so you could see everything. But I always try not to get in the way. The technical on the right there really made me laugh because, again, Command & Conquer Generals is in my head with the GLA technical. So, yeah, it really did make me smile. But it's just amazing work. Again, vehicles I don't necessarily know the most about, but I can really appreciate. Mandip had one of the most unique tanks on the table, which is the Bob Semple tank. This is a New Zealand tank that was designed to be indigenous to New Zealand so that they could produce it themselves. And is well, in sort of World War II video gaming, a bit of a meme as a sort of useless tank in most video games. But it's a really unique and interesting thing, so I really, really recommend you go and look it up. But yeah, other than that, they do have a lot of really interesting subjects on here. They had some Roman figures in the middle, one with a ballista, one with a catapult, and they also had a variety of World War I tanks from France, Germany, and Britain, which you often only really see the British World War I tank, so it was really interesting to see them, and there it is, the Bob Semple tank. What an interesting tank. It's just, it's certainly unique. We then head over to Stoke-on-Trent, who were selling some of their models, so you can see a little price tags next to them. But Stoke-on-Trent Model Club are, well, a club I know very well, and I will be attending their show hopefully towards the end of August as well, which has now moved from, it was at the Staffordshire County Race Grounds, and it's now at Fenton Manor, so it's now actually in Stoke itself at a leisure centre in Fenton. I'm really interested to see how different their show will be compared to the race grounds, where it has been for quite a few years, and I filmed there quite a few times. I will be a bit sad, I guess, because the race grounds was a really nice and unique venue, but hopefully it being actually within the city itself makes it more accessible, because people will be able to get there through rail and bus, and hopefully easier through car too. It'll be interesting to see how it does compared to previous shows, and yeah, I'll definitely be there and film it and let you know what I think. Their display remains a really diverse and amazing display, though I think I've seen the majority of these models at some point already, because I see them at so many different shows and I often forget what I have done already, so hopefully I've taken pictures of things you haven't seen already. But I'll shut up now and let you enjoy their display. I love going to shows like this because I see a lot of clubs that I either never see or I only really see at things like Bolton or Scale Model World, and not a lot of the other shows. And one of those is West Glamorgan. I really like seeing that French Spitfire. I think that was a really interesting subject, and they've done some other things in unusual markings too, such as the BF 109 there in Romanian markings too. Heading over to West Norfolk, and the model that stole this table for me was the root joint. I have a horrible feeling, I have said that before though, and may have taken pictures of it before, but if that's the case, well, you're getting it again today. It's such an unusual modelling subject to see, and I imagine one that takes a fair bit of scratch building or conversion work. I've only seen it fly a couple of times, and it was really cool to see it on the table here. And then also that EBL with the French flag on, which I'm 99% sure I have taken a picture of before, but again, it's featuring today, so it is what it is. West Berks had a lot of interesting tank dioramas. They had a lot of movement and action in them, which I thought was really cool. They also had a lot of civilian vehicles on display here, including that candy blue convertible there, which I thought looked really pretty. And then they had a really funny little one of those red and yellow toy cars as well, which just, yeah, again, shows the fun in modelling that you've got to have alongside the serious. Revell Model Club are really hurting me to shame, aren't they? With not one but two B36s on display. Gosh, I really need to finish mine, and showing how big it is next to a B52, should I say that, and a B1B as well. They've then got a trio of flying wings as well. This is a club that does not hold back on the large scale models, and also an Italian Atlantic 2 there as well. Oh my god, I just love this display. So many aircraft that I adore. And there's the T2 Buckeye there too, which I did recently in a video. Oh, I love this display. I had so many people ask me if I'm going to finish my B36, including with the US Air Force SIG. And I was like, yeah, it'll get done this year. We'll see. And this War of the Worlds diorama, I'm pretty sure I've seen this before, but I love it. It's the sort of the very old school War of the Worlds. There was also a video game that back on PC back in the day for World Worlds with this style as well, and I just love it. I saw the musical live as well. Yeah, just anything World Worlds I absolutely adore. I'll give you 2 guesses what the Great Warsig is, and if you don't get it in 1 guess, I don't know how to help you. But the Great Warsig are amazing. They do such unique subjects that you don't really see. Whilst World War I is a subject that a lot of people know about or might have played video games for, like Battlefield 1, you very rarely see it actually in scale modelling beyond the really common sort of say things like the Fokker triplane or the World War I tank from the British. And the Great Warsig do a really fantastic job of showcasing the different elements of World War I, such as with this charge into Russian troops during the Russian Revolution. So British and Russian troops versus the Russian, revolutionaries. This is a fantastic SIG, and I will never tire of seeing the craftsmanship they have and their dedication to bringing to life something that, God, I feel so old now, happened over 100 years ago. Another club I have seen fairly recently is Model Squad, Devon Scale Modelling Collective, and that's because I recognised one of their little dioramas from Bovington, I believe. They also had a PZL TS11 Iskra, which is a trainer I absolutely love because it was so unique, and the first time I ever went to the Malta Air Show was purely so I could see Revell Iskry, the Polish display team, flying the TS11 because they were retiring it from the service. So I always love seeing a model of that. But again, fantastic display. I think I saw a lot of this fairly recently when I was at Bovington, but I did try and highlight things that you may not have seen in that show. We then head over to Thornbury, who have some really interesting sort of vignettes or unique figures. I never really know what the difference between a figure and vignette is, if I'm really honest. But I did take some close-ups of them so you can appreciate them too, because again, anyone who can make a figure look human has my respect, because I cannot do that. We've all seen what happens when I try. Thornbury have perhaps the most talked about figure at the show, because I heard so many people talking about it, because they had a little Count bin face right at the top of their shelf there, and you'll see it in a moment. But honest to God, I heard so many people talking about it. I'm not surprised really, it's obviously such a meme in British culture right now, but yeah, it was really interesting that it is perhaps the smallest and I mean this in a respectful way, like least interesting model on their display, I think personally. Like it still looks fantastic. I think so many of their other subjects are so interesting and unique, and yet it was the one that everyone seemed to be talking about. I mean, look at the lighthouse at the end. That it was Camp Face everyone was talking about. The club with the no name have, well, aircraft that everyone knows the name of, including a really interestingly painted BF-109 right at the end of the display, which has red and yellow wings. It very much reminds me of Patrulla Aguila, the Spanish display team, which I guess is fairly fitting seeing as they license built the BF-109 after the war as the Bouchon. So yeah, that's what it reminds me of. It's obviously not that, but it's what makes me think of anyway. And then we have the Jag Sig. This is the Jaguar and Harrier Sig, which previously was just the Harrier Sig and is diversified to feature the Jaguar as well, which is an aircraft I really wish I'd paid more attention to on the aircraft circuit when I was growing up, because it's so beautiful. And well, this is the Churchill Sig, and it's just millions of variants of the Churchill, and it's amazing. Like, again, I only knew the Churchill really through playing it on War Thunder, but I have developed a bit of a soft spot for it. Obviously, it's quite a distinctive tank as well, and yeah, just enjoy how many there are, because there's so many of them here. And as we reach nearly the end of Hall 3, because we've done Hall 1, then Hall 3, and we'll do Hall 2 last, is the Early Risers Club. And they have this lovely example of the South African MB326, the Impala in their service, which is something I really want to do a model of in the display team colours at some point, and the J7W Shinden there as well, in both prop, and I think it's the jet version next to it. This was a really cool stand. I think the only train club here is Bristol East Model Railway Club, and it was just nice to see something here that represents the railway modelers. If you want to see more, of course, check out my Key Model World Live, because I had so many amazing layouts. Well, at the end of Hall 3 is Military in Miniature, and I'm just going to let you sit and enjoy this, because much like Francois in the previous haul, this is just an amazing collection of unique and interesting subjects. And that even though there is a little bit of civilian on here, it's mainly military dioramas done in miniature, and it's really breathtaking how amazing these look. course, in Hall 2 we had some more wargaming, though less than Hall 1 and in Hall 2. It was really cool to see these sort of rough and ready layouts, because it just shows, again, you don't have to have the most incredible scenery in the world to have fun. You can just make something yourself, scratch build some scenery, throw the models on the table and enjoy it, because that is what it's all about. You should be playing, not just collecting your tabletop war games. That's really cool to see. There were a couple of different games here, and unfortunately some of them weren't in use at the time, so I only got a couple. And then here we are in Hall 2, the final hall we're looking at today, and this is Middleton Cheney, and we've seen this before. I think it's a different band they had in the centre stage last time, so they've got Queen here in the middle now, and these are 3D printed models. They decided they were just going to do something completely different this year, and I love it. Obviously, they did have music there, which I've not included in the video because it'll get copyright claimed, but yeah, I think it's amazing, and I'm so excited to see what other figures they do. You know how that saying that like men are thinking about the Roman Empire every day? Well, BMS Bristol really showed that with their collection of Roman vignettes or figures right at the start, and then they contrast that with some giant E6. I think it's E6 Prowler, the lovely older US Navy jet, right at the end as well, and a Corsair as well, I think. I didn't realise initially when I was filming this that it's a separate club. Mr. Model had to go and check the table layout. Not all clubs carry their names really clearly, and when I'm filming I often don't realise, so apologies for the weird filming for Wiltshire's table, but they had some really lovely models in there, including that gorgeous X-Wing and a lovely IR-80. I don't think I even realised the X-Wing was there when I was going around, so I didn't get a picture of it. I wish I had though, because it looked so cool. We then head over to North Somerset, who had a really neat project on here that we'll see right at the end of the photos, which was I think it was from Hobgoblin, and they took basically the 2D advert and decided to create a 3D model of it. It's not yet painted on here, but it is amazing that someone, yeah, you know what, I'm going to make that, and then just did. They also had a lovely selection of unique aircraft on here as well, which really tickled my fancy. And they also had Wadib Pool Atreides there too. This was a really cool stand, really fantastic unique aircraft on here, and there's a Hawk as well, so you know I love it, and an SM-81 there too, which is great. And they also had the Tintin diorama, which Stoke-on-Trent had too. There's this National Geographic as well, which shows the Afghan girl too. Just a really fantastic, beautiful display of such varied nature. Swindon had quite a few things I don't know too much about, such as vehicles. well, I say vehicles, I mean cars, and also some ships as well. So enjoy those. They're not things I know particularly too much about, though I did enjoy seeing them, particularly with racing cars. I always think the liveries are really interesting. They had this sort of maritime Hampton there as well, alongside sort of a Beaufighter and a Manchester as well, which looked fantastic. A really good display, even if a lot of the things I don't know too much about, and I thought the ships were presented absolutely beautifully on those bases. You know the drill by now, I know nothing about military, so I'm just going to let you enjoy Warwickshire Mather. We then head over to Barnet, who have this amazing Pan Am airliner in the middle, which I just thought looked really fantastic. Obviously, Pan Am were such a famous airline and so important for aviation history. There was also a couple of, again, what I want to say are 1946 projects on here, and some fictional things, including sort of the Middle Eastern X-Wing in there as well. I know I've seen a couple of these things before, so some of these pictures may be things you've seen previously, but I just wanted to get a varied selection of pictures, including that Tu-57 in the middle, which I think is a fantastic example of the Russian type, because, well, whilst we may not love buying Russian stuff right now, well, it's still cool to see the aircraft in miniature, where they're not hurting anyone. There's also that F1 diorama there too, which I think I've taken a picture of before, though I'm not too sure. And there's the two gorgeous 1946 projects, the vertical takeoff German aircraft. I just love that. It was one of the things that made me buy IL-2 1946 back in the day. I love that game for that aircraft alone. And next door to that was the UFO SIG, which they have Rocky on it. And I'm not gonna lie, Project Hail Mary is probably one of my favourite films of all time now. And yeah, all I can say is amaze, amaze, amaze. From a PC6 to a Twin Pioneer and a Sagoing, the Cotswold Model Hub has so much on offer. It is pretty much just aircraft on there, which I don't have an issue with because that's what I like. But yeah, it was a really fantastic display. This is another one that went round the corner, and they use that beautiful baby blue as their tablecloth, so it's really clear which ones are theirs, and it's just such a great variety from World War I all the way up until the modern day. This was a fantastic display. It makes us civilian and military. I just absolutely loved it. Salisbury had a complete collection of something we saw earlier, which was, we saw earlier the Borrow Mouse, so it was like a rodent Boromir, and this one has all of them, so all of the figures from Lord of the Rings in, I think they're meant to be like just mouse or maybe mouse and rat form, but they look so good. And I know one of my friends builds or paints sort of mousy warrior figures, and it's a really popular, actually, I guess, subgenre. And seeing the Lord of the Rings one, I just thought it was amazing. So I've taken a picture of a couple of my favourites. Unfortunately, the video was a little bit blurry, blame the lighting. But yeah, they look amazing, and go and check them out if you see them at a show. They look so good. Wolverhampton stands incorporate the Spanish Civil War SIG, which used to be its own separate thing. I guess it's now sort of more part of the Wolverhampton SIG. Still love seeing it. The Spanish Civil War is something that so many people just don't really think about anymore. Yeah, it was such a pivotal moment in European history, and they feature a lot of unique subjects in that war, and things that would later go on to be absolutely famous during the course of World War II. So it's a really interesting period militarily, and a really dark period of European history that we do need to remember. So it's great to see people remembering that period. Guernsey Nomad modelers, who I've seen at Bolton and Scale Model World Live this year. So it does mean I've seen a couple of their things previously, but it doesn't stop you enjoying the fun on offer on their display, from Wallace and Gromit to The Walking Dead to so many different little dogs that they've pit around, to their own dog that they've recreated in miniature in lots of different little scenes. It's really cool to see their lovely little display. Well, we head over to another Mathler. This is South Midlands Mathler. So, as per the previous one, enjoy, because it's not something I can speak too much about because I don't know it, but enjoy it. Heading over to Abingdon, there is a gorgeous Mirage F1 on here, and that fantastic Iron Man figure next to British Airways Aircraft 2. This is a really cool display, really good mix of different subjects on display here. When I first went to Riyadh in '97, there was a tiger theme there, and I think for that reason, the tiger scheme has just remained something so close to my heart, because it's tied to my first air show. So seeing this lovely tiger scheme sort of display or theme here just really, really warmed my heart. So well done to Trowbridge. We've seen Braunton at a couple of shows, and I believe they're related to 3D Gizmo. They've got a couple of cards on there for them. 3D Gizmo were situated opposite them. I've got no affiliation, just to be very transparent there. A couple of these dioramas we will have seen before, but I think they look so good. I particularly like the garage scenes. So they go through different eras of garages. They're not the same one, but it's really cool to see them in different eras, aspects. I really love this one with the different colour panels on it. It looks so good. Honestly, the work here is so impressive. Heading over to a club I don't get to see too often, which is Cannes. And when I was a kid, I remember there was a model shop in Cannes, and for some reason ingrained in my head was on the floor on the right hand side of the shop was a Italeri Gigant model kit in 72nd scale, and I remember that shop so vividly. But I don't think I bought too much from that because it was when I was a lot younger. But yeah, sorry, I know that's nothing to do with the club itself, so please enjoy their models, but yeah, just brought back so many memories. For me, Gloucester is the club that I have promised to go to their show to the most, and yet never actually attended because it always seems to fall somewhere where I already have a prior engagement or something's come up that I've had to go to instead. And I'm really hoping I'll get to attend their show next year because I've been trying to make it for so long. But yeah, they are lovely people. I've got to know a couple of them over the course of shows. It's always nice to find a club that's so welcoming and lovely, and it really does help other people get into the hobby when they have people who approach all the shows and just happy to talk about modelling.
Should I stay here?
Featuring a gorgeous Irish Spitfire, a fantastic example of a Draken, and, well, the best helicopter of all time, the Westland Lynx. Thames Valley have done a really lovely display. It's very spaced out and everything is based individually, and it just looks really smart. The Hasagawa Shin-Maya is on the right hand side of the Soso South Somerset's club display, and it is a showstopper alongside the really creative Jungle Strike PC game box art model reproduction. Sorry, I didn't know how to quite explain that, but it just looks absolutely phenomenal. I took a picture of it and you'll get a side by side, but two really, really unique things from modeling, and they just look great. Maybe I should recreate like the FX game box art or something. So Marvin have some really interesting subjects on here, but the thing that I thought was so cool was the diorama with the aircraft taking off, and it's meant to be, I think it was in France, on essentially like this grassland where they didn't have ready-made airfields, and there's some kids watching, and you'll see a picture of it close up, but there's like bunnies they put in there that I literally had to put my glasses on to see. And thank you for pointing it out to me so that I could see it, because it really made me smile, and it was so cool, like so lovely. Some really interesting subjects on Malvern Hill's display, including this Grey Knights army. I still remember when Grey Knights became really controversial back in the day because of the writing in their codex and the law. So an army I have a really weird relationship with in 40k. Also on the table are some really cool dioramas, including them repairing that racing car there, being towed, and they also have some more fantastical elements, as you can see in the middle there. Really, really cool dioramas and really fantastic work. One of the most unique models is this, I guess, parakeet or parrot on Khan's table. It's sort of in an all metal, I think, production, and it just looks absolutely fantastic. I have never seen anything like it in my life, and as it sort of is turning on the table, all the different colours just come through and it just looks amazing. There's so much colour on display here, including that sort of top cat, sort of not vignette, figure display, however you want to call it. Just, yeah, the work here is amazing. St. Athen made me and Mr. Malta smile. Not only did it have that giant Harrier at the end, but they also had proper hammer. And by that, I mean Space Marine stuff. It's the proper old school tracked Whirlwind, Rhino, and Land Raider. Alongside that, of course, they have other fantastic models, but I just love seeing, well, I guess they're now vintage Warhammer. I mentioned it earlier, and this still remains one of my favourite SIGs, the What If SIG. From the 1946 German aircraft in the middle in Finnish markings to perhaps just different variations of existing aircraft, the What If SIG is so fascinating. There's always something different and unique on here, and they really can just let their imagination run wild. So I really love seeing the SIG every single time it's at a model show. It is one of my favourites. certain Spartans bright red, contrasts with the alligator USSR or Russian helicopter on the far right there, and the Viggen on the left. A really cool display, and also another one with a fairy delta on, which seems to be one of the most popular subjects in modelling at the moment, at least if the shows are anything to go by. And it wouldn't be a model show without Models for Heroes, and they had friends of Models for Heroes here, including merch and donation QR codes that hopefully will still work if you want to use that right now. I don't really know. And yeah, just a lot of the models on display. Models for Heroes are a charity that help veterans get into modelling by offering them kits and supplies in order to practice modelling. Modelling is a fantastic tool for managing one's mental health and practicing mindfulness. So a really good charity that do a lot of good work. Friend of the channel, Model Minutes, did a video on them where they visited Models for Heroes. I thoroughly recommend you check it out. We then hand over to Southbrook, another stand that has giant aircraft, including another B-36. When will this aircraft stop cursing me? There was actually a B-36 on sale in one of these traders for £80 that I nearly picked up because I wanted another one, which is so dumb of me. Alongside that, they had an A400, a C-160, a C-130, a B-1B, and a variety of other aircraft, including an AWAC and my beloved VC-10, one of the sexiest aircraft of all time, and a really cool example of a Belgian C-130. Honestly, I'm just so jealous of all the giant aircraft. They look so cool. You may remember Stafford from when they went at Scale Model World with their giant chess set style Battle of Britain diorama, and they have promised there'll be something really interesting at Telford this year too, so I really look forward to it. Whilst they're not doing their giant set pieces, which they do every other year, they still have a fantastic display with a variety of unique aircraft, and one of the other unique things from here this year is Romans constructing roads in different ways. Well, I guess not necessarily just Romans, but roads being constructed in the olden days. This was really cool, and they talked to me about how they did the research for it and learned so much about how roads were constructed. And again, it just shows how modelling can really help you get a greater understanding of the world around you. The US Air Force SIG is a staple of model shows and always looks really cool with their basing of the giant airfield. This year was no different, and I've seen them, I think, at Bolton and I think also at Scale Model World too. I really love seeing the SIG, and whilst I don't think I've actually really built many US subjects beyond things like my T2, it's something I really need to do more of. In fact, Memphis Belle B-17 is something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, so maybe I'll actually do that soon. Heading over to Womborne, they have a good few things I do recognise, including the vehicle from Captain Scarlet, a Blue Impulse F86, and they also have a Tucano in there in Lest We Forget scheme again, which does highlight that it is a tail sitter, which is a shame that Airfix have re-released it without addressing that issue, from what I understand. So we're going to see a lot of Tucanos like this. No disrespect to the builder, because it is incredibly hard without metal parts to get it to sit on its front as it should. That isn't a model issue, it is an issue with the kit. Holy smokes, there are so many cars packed onto this table. This is the Universal Modelling Society Birmingham. Wow, what a great collection. And then they go into aircraft and then things from movies and film franchise and TV franchises too, including Terminator, one of my all-time favourites. I love Terminator 1, 2 and 3. After that, they really vary in quality, and some Star Wars there as well. And then we have Avon Scale Model Society, not to be confused with the other Avon table we saw, and they had one of history's forgotten, I guess, aircraft on here, the X-15, alongside some lesser known aircraft such as the Revell from Belgium, and an Italian aircraft. I wasn't quite sure which one it is, whether it's a row or if it's like a CR-42, just without the wheel covers on. I think it is the 42 or 32 though. And well, over on Pool Vikings, you're going to see a lot of pictures of the two Hawk Hunters there, particularly the misdemeanor scheme. It just looks absolutely fantastic. Out of this world, kind of like the scheme itself. I love the Hawk Hunter. It's a fantastic aircraft, though I will always say I think the Saab Lansen looks slightly nicer. I know, I'm a traitor to British aviation. They also have some net runs over there in the middle, again highlighting how much tabletop wargaming has come into the modelling space as well, and a lot of other interesting subjects, but that misdemeanor really stole the show. The Romania SIG is one that always surprises me how much more there is every year on it. This year there were some additional sort of ground vehicles, something I don't think we've really ever seen from the Romania SIG. Really nice to see, and that Air Museum from Bucharest in the middle always just looks so good because it shows, I guess, how not looking after the aircraft are in real life. And from looking at pictures online, it's very real. But I didn't take pictures of that this time because I have done previously. Go check out my other videos if you want to see that, particularly the Telford ones from the last 2 years. If you want to see some close-ups of the Battle of Normandy from Colin Morgan, please check out my Scale Model World video 2025 because you will get a lot more close-up photos and video. Our final scale model table before we go on to the wargaming from this haul is RAF Bryce Norton, featuring some cool sort of fictional aircraft such as Thunderbirds in RAF schemes and realistic aircraft too. This was a really cool table, and I really liked the, I want to say it's like a battle baron scheme where they've got the two pilots sat next to the aircraft waiting to be called up whilst they're on standby. I thought that was really effective and it's really good. A couple of these things we will have seen at Scale Model World Live, so go check that out if you want to see some more pictures. And well, we're on to Wargaming, and here's 0 Hour. This is really cool, a World War I tabletop game. And actually, me and Mr. Wandler had been talking about like the Total War video game series and how the World War I never happened, and you know how World War I is really difficult to do in sort of gaming because of like, you know, the trench warfare. But then Battlefield 1 did it really well, and we're talking about tabletops, and lo and behold, there was one here. Next to that was some Warhammer again, which again was by far the most popular tabletop game at the show, which is not to be surprising at all. But then there was also this Japanese themed game here too, which was really cool to see. There are tabletop games coming out all the time, and it's so exciting to see shows like this really embrace that, and I really hope Scale Model World also does the same. But there were also a lot of traders at the show, and whilst I didn't get a video of all of them, I want to let you know a couple of ones that I bought from. So going from the receipts, I bought from Jack Hill Models, Mark Roberts and M. Spicer. I don't know, maybe if you want to see a video of my haul, I'll show you that. And of course we have models for sale here as well, who are most of the big shows, and yeah, they seem to be doing well as usual. Thank you for joining me on this trip around Thornbury Model Show, or IPMS Avon's Model Show. This was really, really cool to go to again. I haven't been for so long. It was so tiring. We drove there and back on the same day, 3.5 hours to 4 hours for us to go. So it was quite a long way, but it was definitely worth it. I really enjoyed my time here. I did speak to a couple of people about the show, obviously highlighting that I hadn't been there for quite a few years, and many of them said that this felt like sort of the most direct competitor to Telford. I think that's really interesting, because to me there are now like 4 main shows of the year, or maybe 5, and that would be Bolton, then there's Key Model World Live, there's Thornbury, Stoke-on-Trent, and then Scale Model World. I really hope we see more big shows like this succeed, because the more competition we have for Scale Model World, the better, because it means they'll have to continue to evolve and innovate within the model show genre. I think having Wargaming on display like this and allowing people to try it is fantastic, and again, having that cross-promotion, helping people learn different techniques and getting into different things is always healthy for the hobby. Thank you so much for being here though. If you enjoyed what you've seen here today, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and well, if you want to support the channel more, and that includes me going to shows like this, you can hit the join button down below, or you can head over to my Ko-fi. The link is in the description. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Thank you to all of my channel members. You really help make these videos possible by allowing me to go to different shows, even the ones further away. A special shout out goes to my advanced kit level members, including Macy Howard, Trumpet, Taggers365, Star Trek Props and Models, Bobby G, Dafty Duck, Bob and Genevieve Albridge, David Barber, Jeff Dioramas, and the 2 longest subscribers at this level, Explosive Water and Crazy Loacher. Crazy Loacher especially, has donated so much to the channel over the years in the forms of like memberships for other people. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, make sure to subscribe to the channel to be kept up to date with the latest and greatest videos. And well, there's a recommended video here just for you, bestie, so best click that and watch more of my content. See you later, see you in the next video, bye!